The winter that changed the game. December 1891. The cold had settled deep into Springfield. Outside, the world felt frozen trees stripped bare, the air sharp and The gym was quiet, but not peaceful. Wooden floors stretched beneath dim light, and somewhere in that silence, a single sound broke through a ball hitting the floor. Standing alone beneath a flickering light was a young instructor, holding a leather soccer ball in his hands. At that moment, he was not trying to invent a global sport. Winter had always been a season of limitation. The outdoor fields where young men once ran freely were now buried beneath snow. The energy that once had direction now had nowhere to go. Inside the gym, students grew restless. Their bodies were built for movement, for competition, for struggle. But the activities available to them indoors were either too slow to satisfy them or too violent to control them. Fights broke out. Injuries became common. Discipline began to slip. Naismith understood something many overlooked. It was not that the students lacked control. It was that they lacked purpose. And so, he was given a quiet assignment to create a new game. Something fast, engaging, and safe enough to be played indoors. It was not meant to be revolutionary, just effective. The man behind the moment. Long before that winter in Massachusetts, James Naismith had lived a very different life in Ontario, Canada. He grew up in a small, rural environment where life was shaped by hardship and simplicity. By the age of 9, he had already experienced the loss of both his parents, and loss, when it comes early, has a way of quietly shaping perspective. Raised by relatives, he learned discipline through work. Farming, chores, survival life was not easy, but it was honest. Yet even in that life, there was play. Children in open fields create their own games, guided not by rules, but by instinct. And one of those games would unknowingly shape the future. Duck. On a rock. A simple challenge knock. A small object off a raised surface using thrown stones. But success did not come from power. It came from control. From arc. From understanding that sometimes force must give way to precision. Years later, standing in that cold gym in Springfield, the memory would return not as nostalgia, but as insight. A different kind of game. Most games at the time shared a common problem. They were horizontal. The objective was always in front of the player. Instinct drives people forward fast, aggressive, uncontrolled. That is where collisions happen. That is where chaos begins. But Naismith asked a different question. What if the goal wasn't in front, but above? It was a quiet shift in thinking, almost unnoticeable, but powerful. Because to reach something above you, you must change how you move. You must aim. You must think. You must control your force. And most importantly, you must look up. The first setup. The solution itself was simple. 2 peach baskets were nailed onto the balcony railing of the gym, 10 feet above the floor. No special design. No advanced planning. Just what was available. A ball, 2 baskets, and 13 basic rules written by James Naismith. No running with a ball. No tackling. No excessive physical contact. Players could pass. Players could shoot. The objective was clear: get the ball into the basket. Nothing more. Nothing less. The first game. On December 21st, 1891, 18 students walked into that gym. 9 on each side. No one fully understood what they were about to play. At first, it felt awkward. Players ran without direction. Passes were uncertain. Movements lacked rhythm. The ball moved slowly, almost hesitantly, as if the game itself was still learning how to exist. But then, something shifted. A pass connected. Another followed. Movement began to form patterns, and then, for the first time, a shot. The ball rose into the air. Not with force, but with intention. It curved gently, touching nothing but air before dropping into the peach basket. But imperfection has never stopped something meaningful from growing, because what mattered was not how polished the game was. It was how it felt, and it felt alive. The deeper truth of the game. What James Naismith created was more than just a game. That direction matters. That patience matters. But sometimes, the best move is not forward, but upward. The quiet spread. The game did not explode into the world overnight. It traveled quietly. Students carried it to other cities. Other gyms recreated it. Small changes were made. Rules adjusted. Styles developed. And slowly, the echo of a bouncing ball began to spread. Across towns, across states, across countries. What began as a winter solution became a global language. The symbol that remained, even as the game evolved, backboards added. Nets changed. Players faster and stronger, the essence never left. At its core, basketball remained the same. A ball, a target above, and the act of trying again. The peach basket, though replaced long ago, remains a powerful symbol. It represents simplicity. It represents beginnings. It reminds us that greatness does not always start with perfection. Sometimes, it starts with whatever is available and the courage to try something new. But beneath all of it, the foundation remained unchanged. A simple idea, born in a cold gym, shaped by necessity, the reflection beyond the game. There's something deeply human about the way basketball is played. You miss, you try again. You adjust, you grow. You grow. No single shot defines the game, and no single failure defines the player. The scoreboard may show numbers, but the real story is written in effort, in discipline, in the quiet hours when no one is watching. The final image. If you close your eyes and return to that gym in December 1891, you will not see a global sport. You will not hear roaring crowds. You will not feel the weight of history. You will see something simpler. A wooden floor, a cold winter outside. A young instructor holding a ball, and 2 peach baskets hanging above. That was enough, because some ideas do not need perfection to begin. They only need purpose, and sometimes, the smallest solution to a simple problem becomes something the world carries forever.